currently heads alliances and partnerships at Aspire for Her, launched on International Women's Day 2020, with a vision of getting more than 1 million women in the workforce by 2025. Ruchita ma'am inspires other women to challenge themselves as a live example of a successful return to work. Ma'am, would you like to share a few words with us?
Good morning, everyone. And it's wonderful to see students who get up early on a Sunday morning and come and be with us. Of course, we are definitely always excited in hosting the sessions, but it's equally important to see students at the other end also excited and getting up on a Sunday morning and attending these sessions. I hope all of you are part of Aspire for Her. And if you're not, the best is to sign up right away and get started and avail all the resources, because there is so much that's happening on a platform that on a daily basis, even I can't keep track. And only when you are members will you know what is happening. And that's the kind of enthusiasm and the pace with which we work. We've covered 5 sessions. Today is the 5th and the last session. It is basically MS Excel, document writing, Canva, LinkedIn, and presentation skills. And as we all know, that these are not skills which we are helping you develop just like this. These have become basic skills. These are not some high-end skills. And while you definitely need it in your workplace, you also need it in your school, in your college, and everywhere in daily life, wherever you're using. These are ways of becoming self-independent, while of course not financially independent, but yes, you don't have to depend on anybody and you can do the best at it. We are also very proud to announce that we've had a lot of partner support from our various colleges. We've had students and faculty from East, West, North, South of India, all of them being with us. I definitely like to mention KES Shroff College, Patna Women's College, East Point College, JD Women's College, and MNW College for actually helping us and volunteering in their way and still being a part of it. We have a lot of excitement coming in this week and the next couple of weeks, and do stay tuned. But I would definitely like to say hats off to the Aspire for Her team and for the students for really getting the show so seamless. I know the excitement, the amounts of practice that we have done, and everything behind the scenes, which you people even can't estimate what's been there. Thank you so much, and look forward to having you all as part of Aspire for Her. Over to you all.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We also have with us Dhananjay sir from East Point College. He is the head of training and placement at East Point College of Engineering and Technology. I request him to share a few words with us.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Jasmine. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Dear ladies, yeah, and few gentlemen, if they are, right, I can see Mr. Ashwini Gupta ji and many more. Though we are in the minority today, the name itself is Aspire for Her, right? So rightly said by Ruchita ma'am from Aspire for Her. We have already signed with Aspire for Her, and we are seeing the change which is coming in the mindset of the young ladies or girls from our college and the society. We have been seeing people like Jasmine, Girisha, Palak, all those whom you can see on the screen, managed by or mentored by Ruchita ma'am and fellow other, experienced people from Aspire for Her. These people had started learning just like you. Dear participants who has come for the first time, that started learning just like you, and today they are delivering to people like you. So this is the mantra of Aspire for Her. You start aspiring, you start doing, you start delivering. This is what is all about Aspire for Her. This is something which Ruchita ma'am once reached out to us. She explained very shortly to us. We understood, we have signed, and we are happy that East Point College of Engineering and Technology is associated today with Aspire for Her, and our ladies will do some wonders. Yeah. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and we wish all the participants all the best. Please do register with Aspire for Her and do participate in all the events which are coming through Aspire for Her. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. We are so glad to have you here. Now, I would also like to extend my thanks to Girisha Maheshwari and Palak Kabra, the co-leads of Regional Activation Vertical, for organizing these workshops. Girisha is a BA graduate, having done her majors in economics and statistics, and she is currently pursuing marketing. Palak is currently in second year pursuing BE in computer engineering. Without further ado, let's begin with the workshop. We welcome you all to the last session of the Professional Upskilling Workshop on PowerPoint. Our speakers for the day are Gurleen Panu, Isha Dange, and Rashi Shetty. Gurleen is a second-year undergrad pursuing her bachelor's in computer science engineering. Having been a part of AFH since the past 9 months, she currently leads the ambassador program and communities at AFH. She loves reading and talking about historical fiction and uses LinkedIn twice as much as she does any other social media platforms. Isha Dange is a recent economics and statistics graduate with the completion of several more certifications. She's enthusiastic, hardworking, and resourceful. She has constantly proven the aforementioned qualities by excelling in various leadership and volunteer roles throughout her student life so far. She is also a very compassionate human being who is always ready to help others. Here at Aspire for Her, she's part of the corporate partnership management team. Rashi is a second-year IT undergraduate with a strong interest in content writing, reading, and dancing. She has always been a person who has been outside the classroom trying her hands at everything. She is proud to be a part of the outreach team at Aspire for Her, connecting with institutions all over India and introducing them to the vast resources and opportunities available at AFH. We promise you, this session will offer you loads of insights about PowerPoint. You can write your queries in the chat box and we will address them as the session progresses. So get your pens and papers ready and get ready to note down all the tips. Over to you, Gurleen.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. That was really kind of you. Okay, so I hope a lot of you all are actually registered with us, but just in case you're not, we'll wait for 2 minutes. You'll see the link to join in the chat box. So we'll wait for 2 minutes for you all to register just in case you haven't. So you all can please do that. You'll find the link in the chat box. Just quickly go through the form and you can just register with us. All right. Okay, awesome. I hope you've all registered and, you'll see a lot of new opportunities coming up, a lot of workshops like this. So let's begin with today's session. Can anyone confirm if you can see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
Yes, it is.
We can.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So a very good morning, everyone. It's wonderful to see so many people, almost 300 plus people here sitting and listening to us talk about Microsoft PowerPoint. I hope you all understand how important Microsoft PowerPoint is in today's world, where everything is digital, every field, every domain requires for you to make presentation of some sort or the other. Whether you're a student, whether you're a working professional, whether you're a teacher, faculty member, whatever be your domain of work, Microsoft PowerPoint is very, very, very crucial. So we won't take a lot of time and we'll just quickly start with it. So what is MS PowerPoint? It is a part of the MS Office suite that has MS Word, MS Excel, and all of those others, software. So it is a very, very widely known software, and that is because of the, how since so long it's been prevalent in the it's a market leader. It is used worldwide and includes apart from like the various softwares that you might find for making presentations. What makes MS PowerPoint stand out is the kinds of elements that you can add in and the very interactive GUI that you can see. So yeah, so we'll just quickly start off with the very important do's and don'ts of any professional presentation, because it's very important to understand that how should you keep your presentation professional, because that is the need of the hour. So it is always important to keep your slides short and crisp. Don't overburden your slides with a lot of text. Please avoid that, right? You need to understand what is the purpose behind your creating that presentation. You need to do your own bit of research, try to understand who is going to be your target audience. Is it going to be school going kids? Then you might want to keep your presentation a little more, you might want to incorporate more funny elements somewhere. You might and bright colors that appeal to the kids. So you might want to do your bit of research and try to analyze your audience. So that is a very important and crucial step. The next thing is to remember the 6x6 rule for the bullet points. Now what this is basically, the very first thing to understand is, do not put a lot of just text and text in your slides, right? You want to bifurcate your text into different bullet points. And when you bifurcate your bullet points, make sure that you're not putting in 10, 15 bullet points in a single slide. So the 6x6 rule for the bullet points basically tells you that add in 6 bullet points in one slide, and each bullet point can have 6 words in the sentence, right? So you want to keep your bullet points short, crisp, and remember the 6x6 rule. Now, this is not a very hard and fast rule that you have to follow every time. So sometimes your sentence might not really deliver the, in those 6 words. So, but it's important to just keep it in mind. The next thing is limit the number of transitions. So as you'll see later in the workshop, we are going to talk about different kinds of animations and transitions that you can do, but you want to limit that, and you don't want to make it, overburdened with a lot of transitions that, you have a transition for this diamond popping up, you have a transition for this particular title, this box, this title. You don't want to put transitions on everything. You want to keep it simple and subtle. Don't incorporate too many slides. Now, you don't want to make a slideshow, a presentation of 100 slides, right? You want to be able to convey your message in 20 slides, 25 slides, right? So don't incorporate too many slides. Use keywords and bold them. So that is very important, because although you want to keep your slides short, it is important to highlight the keywords so that whenever anyone's going through your presentation, those words just appeal to them, and they can make an understanding of what is the presentation going to talk about. And you want to use, since we're talking about professional presentations, you want to use legible fonts and not eccentric fonts. So what do I mean by that is, you might want to avoid using fonts like, say, for example, Jokerman. So Jokerman is a very eccentric looking font that, it might appeal to the kids, but if it's a professional presentation, you might want to avoid it altogether. You might want to pick up, fonts like sans serif or something like that, right? Now, what are the don'ts of a professional presentation? You don't want to put everything on one slide. Yes, I asked you to limit the number of slides, but you don't want to put all your information on just one slide. So say, for example, you're talking about the COVID-19 impact on, say for example, Mumbai. Now you are going to put in some bullet points and you put that in one slide, but you might want to put the statistics, the graphs, etc. in the other slide. You don't want to clutter your one slide with a lot of information and a lot of graphs, text, etc. Don't overuse transitions and animations, of course. Don't overdo the statistics and graphs. Now, it is important to include stats and graphs, but make sure that you're not putting in so many stats and graphs that it's not easier for the easier for the audience to grasp hold of what's going on in the presentation. Don't use long sentences and don't use abbreviations and acronyms, because it's a professional presentation. You want to make sure that you are using the complete full forms of each and every abbreviation. Don't use any sorts of acronyms. And like it was mentioned in the 6x6 rule for bullet points, don't use too long sentences. Avoid using too bright colors. Yes, you might want to incorporate a few the bright colors in a few elements, but make sure that you're not at least making the background of the slide with a bright color. So don't avoid doing that. Always proofread everything you're putting on your slide, because you want to avoid making any sorts of grammatical errors. Whether it's your mail that you're writing, whether it's any sorts of professional document that you're writing, you have to go through it again at least twice to make sure that you are not making grammatical errors. Yeah, you can also use applications like Grammarly to make sure that your everything that you've put together is actually grammatically correct. And even after getting suggestions from Grammarly, it is always advisable to go through it again, because a computer can make mistakes, right? So always go through the text again, even after you've used any grammatical error correction software. Avoid using any informal tone, right? Because it's a professional presentation. You want to make it formal. You want to avoid using words like wanna for want to, gonna for going to, etc. Avoid using those kinds of words. Make it a professional presentation and use professional tone. So this is the very basic theory of PowerPoint. Now we are actually going to practically see how can you do it. Just a second. So if you have to create a new PPT, you can simply type here in search box PowerPoint, and the PowerPoint will open, and you'll have options to select, make a new slide. Right, so I'll try to create a new slide in front of you all. So what you have to do is you have to go in File, and you just have to click on New. And even before that, you'll actually see that Microsoft PowerPoint has actually upgraded itself so very well that it's actually very easy for anyone to go through it. So you'll see that you'll have different kinds of designs available here. Right? And if you want more themes, you can just click on more themes, and you'll have a plethora of themes that will show up. You can pick up any design from here, and you can start building your PPT. So we'll start with a blank presentation. Now, this is the first slide that you'll always see when your presentation gets created. You'll have a space to add your title, and you'll have a space to add your subtitles. So this is the very first thing that you'll see. Now we'll actually go through each tab and make you understand what's there in each, tab. So beginning from the very first slide, say for example, I'll just put the heading as MS PowerPoint. Now, just in order to show you all the kind of fonts I was telling you should avoid. So here's a font called Jokerman. Now, if you'll see, this is a very, very weird looking font for, any sorts of professional PPT.
Just a minute, we can just see your do and don'ts of professional presentation on screen.
Oh, okay, sorry, I'll just share my screen again. Okay, can you see it now?
Yeah. Can you just
I'll run through it. So right, like I said, you have to click on File, and you have to go on new, or you can just, in your home screen, you can see that there are all these different kinds of designs that are there. And if you want more designs, you can just click on more themes and you'll have a lot of designs here. And you can even put in some keywords. So say, for example, I want a modern looking PPT. You can just add in modern and just enter and just search for it. And you'll see a lot of presentations that, come under that title. So that's how you can create a new presentation. Now, this is the first screen that you are going to see once you create your presentation. You'll have a text box to add your title, and you'll have a text box to add your subtitle. Now, we are actually going to go through each and every tab and each and every element in that particular tab. So like I was telling you all, you want to avoid using certain fonts in your professional PPTs. Now, one such font is Jokerman. Now, if you'll see this, let me know if you find this professional, because I don't think anyone would approve of this being professional. It's pretty, it's good for a presentation you're making for kids. If it's a fun presentation for kids, that's perfectly fine. But if you have to present it in front of, an audience, you should definitely just avoid doing it. So yes, beginning from the very first elements that you see here, under the home tab, you have the clipboard, which is a very, all these softwares, all the MS Suite softwares have upgraded over the years to make everything very easy for you. So just in case you want to copy paste anything, these are the options. This is the option you can just copy. This is the option for copying. And if I have to paste it, I can just click this and I'll be able to paste it. Now, I'm sure you all actually even know the shortcuts. It's Control-C and Control-V for copy pasting. But this is just in case your keyboard is not working for some random reason. So PowerPoint actually has an option to let you copy paste things from the tab. Now, this is cut. Like you all know, you have options like cutting a sentence that will basically just remove it from there and you can paste it somewhere else, right? So that is about the clipboard area of the home tab. Now, the next part is the slides tab. Now, this is just in order for you to be able to, add in new slides. So when you click on new slides, you have two options basically. So if you click on the very first option here, that will just randomly, give you your first slide, which is always going to be a title and a text box, right? So this is always going to be your, second slide after your main slide. So if you don't want that kind of a slide, you have different options that you can choose from. So you can have, you can have comparisons, you can have a 2 content slide, you can have a blank slide. If you want to make like a thank you or, connect with us kind of a slide, you can use content with caption, etc. So those are the different kinds of slides that you can add. I'm going to begin with blank slide. So as you can see, this does not have any elements on it. No text box, nothing, right? So when you come on this slide, you have an option called layout. Now, although you've selected your, the kind of slide from here, you click on this lower option. But just in case you've reached that slide and, you've created the slide and then it strikes your mind that maybe, I don't want this kind of slide, I want a comparison slide. So you can just go on layout and just select comparison. And it will change the layout of my slide to a comparison slide. Okay, so that is about layout. Now, reset is basically whatever changes you've made in your slide till now, it's just going to go back to normal, right? So that's what reset does. Another very important thing that I don't, see a lot of people using is section. Now, say for example, you have your PPT on COVID-19's impact on India, and you want to bifurcate, you've made slides and you want to bifurcate it based upon your state. So say for example, I have started with Maharashtra. So when I click on any of my slides, I can go on the section option and you'll see an option called add section. So once you do that, you can name it to Maharashtra or rename it. And you see that, you have a section header titled Maharashtra. And this here, this triangle that you see, it'll just basically, compress all your slides together. All right, so this really helps when you have a lot of different kinds of information in your slide and you want to make sure that everyone has certain headers that are defined. So this really helps in those scenarios. Now next, once you've created the section, you'll have all these options enabled. You can rename the section, you can remove the section, you can collapse all of the sections. Collapse is basically this what just happened. This is collapsing and this is expanding. So you can do that for all the sections. You can remove all the sections, etc. Okay, so that is what you can do with the section tab, and you should all definitely use it if you're making very thorough presentations. Now this is the font tab. Now font tab, I believe a lot of you all must be aware with it, but to just quickly run through what font tab does, you'll have your font styles here. There are different kinds of font styles that are available. You have a lot of font styles to use from, but you want to make sure that you are using font styles that are actually professional and not too fancy, like Joe Command. So I'm using Calibri for this one. So this option next to the font type is the size of your font. So you can change the size of your font from here. You can keep it 10, you can keep it 28, you can keep it 60, whatever your choice. Just in case you don't want to, actually select a numerical value from here, these are options to just, you just click on this and it will randomly increase the size of the font. And this is to increase, this is to decrease. Then you have options to bold your font, whatever you've written, the text. You can bold it, you can italicize it, you can underline it. This option is just to create a certain sort of shadow around your text. So like you all can see, there's a shadow that has been, created with my text. So that's what this option does. Now, this is the strike through option. Maybe you want to show someone that, this is, maybe you're making a PPT on journalism and you want to show the kind of text that you should avoid using. So at that point of time, you might want to use the strike through option. So the strike through option basically just, inserts a line on your text that just lets the user know that, don't do this. This is the text spacing option. So another thing to just know, if you're not acquainted with what does that, what will that particular option do, just take your cursor to it, just let it be there, don't click anything, and you'll have all these this information that will pop up, right? So like you all can see, this option is used for character spacing, right? So all these letters that are there, all these letters are basically characters, right? So if you want to make your characters, you want to change the space of your characters, you can use this option. So it will change the space between your characters. Like you all can see, it is increasing the space in the characters. You can go in the more spacing option and add in the spacing on your own. So maybe you want to increase the spacing. So say, for example, I say 20. So that'll increase my spacing by that, right? And you have different kinds of spacing options. You have expanded, condensed. So I want to go for expanded. So you all can see that it actually expanded by a little bit. So that is about the character spacing option. Now the next option is to change the case of the sentence, the word, whatever it is. So maybe you've written something in in small case and you want to change it to uppercase. At that point of time, you can use this case option and you can change the way your sentence is going to look. So sentence case is obviously going to have the first letter will be capital and the rest will be small. Then you have lowercase, which will make every single letter in your word lowercase. You have uppercase. You have capitalize each word, which will basically, every word that you have, its first letter will be capitalized. Toggle case is basically the vice versa of capitalizing each word. It will actually make the first letter of the word small, and the rest will be capital. So that is how the every capital word will become small and every small word will become capital. That is what toggle case does. So that is about sentence casing. Now the next option that you can see is highlighting. So you can highlight your text, right? You have various options. You can highlight your text. And the next is to change the color of your font. You want to change the color, you can just change it. You can go on more colors and change the color based on your choice, right? You can go on custom. Custom lets you, go through the different shades much better, because you can slide and you can pick your shade. So say, for example, I go for this shade. Now it has changed my text's color to it, right? So that's what the text color option does. Now this option here will just clear all the formatting that you've applied, whether it's bold, italicized, etc. It has gone, right? So once I do that, it has gone. Now, if a very normal shortcut that you should all know is to undo something. So maybe you want the whatever designing that you did to the font, you want it back. You might just want to use Control-Z, that is undo, and you'll get it back, right? So this is about the font tab. Now next what comes is the paragraph. So let me add in certain words here. So this is like my paragraph, right? These are different kinds of sentences put together. That's my paragraph. The paragraph option here, you have the very first thing is these are bullets, right? So like we mentioned, the 6x6 rule, these are the bullets that we're talking about. Now, when you click on this option here, you'll just simply get those circular bullets or the default bullet that you mostly use. But if you click on the drop down arrow next to the bullet option, you'll see that you'll find different kinds of designs that you can pick from, right? So that is one way to go about it. Or you can go on the bullets and numbering option below, and you can see that you have all these options. You can increase the size of the bullet as compared to the text. So I want to change it to, say, for example, I want to change it to 150. You can manually increase it from here, or you can just type it in. So now you'll see my bullet size has actually increased as compared to what it was before. Now, another thing that you can do is when you go in this bullets and numbering tab, you can actually add in a picture as a bullet. Okay, so if you click on the picture option, you'll have all these options to pick from. So you can have icons as, your bullets. So icons is something we'll go through later, but I'll show you both of them. So if you want to pick up a file from your computer and you want to make that as your, just give me a minute so that I can pick something. Okay, so say for example, I want to make the AFH logo the bullet point. Now, once I do that, you'll see that my bullet point has changed to AFH logo. Okay, so you can do that. You can do this with all your bullets. And the another thing was picking up from the icons. Now, icons are basically like you'll be able to see on your screen. You have different kinds of icons that are available. So you have, these are a few icons. You have different, you have arrows, you have cursors. So maybe if I want to pick this as my icon, I'll just select it and I'll insert it. And you'll see that my icon, my bullets have changed to this icon, right? So you can use this option. The next thing is numbering. Numbering is also a means of, bulleting your content. You can just click here and it will give you the default 1, 2, 3, or you can
just a minute. Can you repeat the logo section again?
Okay, sure. So you just select your text, you go on the drop down arrow next to the bullet option, right? And you click on bullet and numbering. that will give you the screen wherein you can click on picture and you can select the option from icons. Okay, so once you do that, you'll see that you'll be able to find a lot of different kinds of icons here, right? So maybe if you want to use this chat box thing, I'll select that and I'll just click on insert. And once I've done that, you'll be able to see that the icon, the bullets have changed to the chat box icon, right? So that's how to do it. I hope that helps. So next, like we were talking about numbering, you click on the drop down arrow, you'll see different kinds of numbering options that you can, have. You can have one dot, you can have one bracket, all of these options, you can have them. And if you go in the bullets and numbering options for this, you can actually, just like you selected the size of the bullet, you can select the size of the number. You can change this, change the color of the number. So say, for example, if I want to put this as the color of the number, you'll see that it will change. Another thing that you can do is that if you don't want to start from 1 and you say, for example, I want to start my bullets from my numbering from 2. So everything will start from 2, right? All my alphabetical numbering will also start from B. Similarly, if I want to go from 5, it will change that for the alphabetical numbering also. So once you do that, you'll be able to see that the color of the bullets has changed, and this is how numbering works. Now, another thing is, this is basically the alignment of your text. You can align it to the right of your text box area, basically. So you can align it to the left, you can align it to the right, you can align it to the center, and we have an option called justify. So justify will just evenly distribute your particular text in a certain margin. So this is how justify will work. So right now you'll not be able to see how justify works exactly, but if I incorporate a lot of text, you'll be able to see how everything actually divides itself pretty well. We'll look into that. This is just to split your text into 2 or more columns. So you can split your text into 2 columns. I don't have a lot of, so I'll just quickly, I'll pick up something from the web talking about Microsoft PowerPoint. So if you do that, you'll be able to see. So I'll just pick up this text from here. I'll go to my PowerPoint. I'll add it here. So just in case you want to remove the numbering, you just click on the backspace and it'll get removed. So this is my text. In order for you to be able to see justify, what happens in justify properly, this is how it will align to the left, right? And this is how it will align to the right. And this is for the middle. Now, when I click on justify, every word will distribute itself evenly in the whole text box. So it will cover the whole text box and distribute itself. So these are the margins for this line, and this line is basically the margin for this text. So it will distribute itself according to that. Now, there's an option called, changing the line spacing. So if you feel like, your paragraph is looking too cluttered, you can change the spacing. You have all these default options here, but you can also go on line spacing options, and you can change the line spacing from here. So maybe you want to have more spacing before, between the start of the text box and the sentence. You want to have more spacing there. So you can do that. And once you do that, you'll be able to see that,
Colleen, can you just repeat this part again?
Repeat the part about?
Left, right, and justify.
I'm sorry, I lost you.
The justify part.
Okay. Okay, so let me reduce the size of my text box. And now if you can see, this is my text box. And if you'll be able to see closely, you'll see that this is actually much more than one single spaces area, right? So that is basically happening because in Justify, your text is going to be covered in the entire text box. So you have two margins. For us, the margin is this starting area, this line, and this is the ending line. That is our margin for us. So my sentence, my text is going to distribute itself to be able to cover the whole region of the text box. So if you have to see the difference, this is how it will look in a normal alignment to the left, right? So you'll see that, these are equivalent to one space areas. But if I change this to Justify, you'll see that it actually spreads my text throughout the text box. So that is how Justify works. I hope that helps. And you all can see that I've actually even changed the line spacing. Now it's much more, there's a lot of space in between, so I can change my line spacing from here, right? This here is basically to change the direction of your text. So say, for example, I have this text and I want to change its alignment to, say, for example, I want it to be vertical. So this is how it will rotate it to 90 degrees. If you want to rotate to 270 degrees, it will work like that. Or you want it one upon the other, it will work like that. So you'll see it's happening like this because I haven't increased the size of my text box. But once I do that, it will quickly start aligning itself based upon the size of the text box, right? So as you all can see, it has stacked itself one after the other, right? So this is how that is how your text direction option works, right? Now, another thing that you can do is when you've written your text, you can change where do you see your text in the text box. You can see it in the top, you can see it in the middle, or you can see it at the bottom. So you also have more options to decide the kind of spacing that you want. You can decide the space you want from the left margin, right margin, top margin, and bottom margin. So this is what you can do. You can change the vertical alignment. You can see there are much more different kinds of options available here than you were able to see by just clicking on this drop down. You see you can have it at top center, you can have it at middle center, etc. So these are the different kinds of options that you can see for aligning the text in the text box. Now, that is how this works. And the next thing to check out is your smart art. So your smart art is actually going to convert all of your text into some sorts of smart art. So smart arts are basically used to beautify your presentations, make it more structured. So this is something that will be covered later, but just in case you all want to know what this option does, it basically converts your text into smart art. Now, that is about your paragraph option. Now in the drawing option, you can see that you'll have all these different kinds of shapes. So what you see in this box are the most used shapes that you keep on using. So that is why you're seeing those here. But if you click on this arrow, this will just take you down. But if you click on this arrow, you'll be able to see all the kinds of shapes that you can insert. Right, so these are the kinds of shapes that you can insert. This is something you'll see in the insert tab too, but because Microsoft is working to make everything very user friendly, they've actually included this option on the home tab too. So the next thing to see is arranging. So okay, so say for example, you are going to see all of this soon, but if I had to insert a rectangle, now you'll see that you can't see my text. You can't see the MS PowerPoint that I wrote. So what I'll do is I'll click on the element and I'll go to the home tab. Under the drawing section, you'll see arrange. Now arrange will basically help me arrange the visibility of this particular element as compared to the elements behind it or in front of it. So I want to send it back because I want to be able to see my elements. So you'll see that it has actually sent, now I can see it. Now my MS PowerPoint is something that's been brought to the front. and the rectangular text, rectangular shape has been sent to the back. Now, to be able to understand what is sent to back and sent to backward, let's include another shape. So say I've included the shape here and I'm going to change its color. Now, if you go to the home tab, you'll see. Now, if you see the send to back option, first you'll see send backward. So send backward is actually going to send it back by just one element. So this was the element that was in front of the text, in front of the rectangle, you had the MS PowerPoint, and in front of the MS PowerPoint, you initially had this eclipse. But once I click on send backward, it will send my element back to one element. Okay, so and send to back, what send to back does is it will send it to the very back of all the elements. Okay, so that is how your send to back and send backward work. I hope that was clear. Similarly, you can bring to front, you can, bring forward and all of that. The next thing that you can see here is the group and ungroup option. Now I have this, suppose I've created this design and I want to be able to move it together. So I'll just take my cursor and simply, by pressing the left, the left cursor, I'll just drag it and select all my elements, and I'll go on arrange and I'll group them together. So once I group them together, I'll be able to move all of it together. I'm sorry. So now I'll be able to move all of it together. Right, so this is how your grouping option works.
Gurleen, we have a doubt. Can you please repeat the send to back part, the back and the backward one?
Okay. So I'll just ungroup this. So once you've grouped it, you can also go to the arrange option and you can ungroup it. So that will give your each elements, like they were originally. So to understand send to back, let me bring it to the front. Now you can see that you have your eclipse, and behind your eclipse, you have your MS PowerPoint text, and behind MS PowerPoint text, you have your blue rectangular shape, right? So if I had to send my eclipse just behind the text, then I would choose the option send backward. Okay, send backward, as you can see here, sends the selected object back one level, right? So that just means it will just send it behind the text. Now, if I had to, if I want to send it behind the rectangular shape as well, at that point of time, I would go on arrange and I would choose the option send to back. So send to back will basically send the object behind all the elements that are there. So this will just send it behind the rectangle as well as the text. I hope it's more easier to understand now. So like you all saw, you can group all your elements together. You can click on control. You can click on control and group things together, right? You can click on individual elements and you can group them together. So that is how your group option works, and you can ungroup them as well. Now, if I have to align, so as you all can see, this is not exactly in the center of the rectangular box. So what I can do is, I'll just reduce the size of this. You'll see all these, this red arrow that you can see. This is just an easier way for you to be able to align your sentences and your shapes. So this alignment is showing for the middle alignment, right? And similarly, if you see the vertical, so the horizontal alignment will be able to help you align it to the center. Now I'll select this option and I'll select my text. And now if I go on arrange and click on align, now I can align my text to the left or I can align it to the center. So like you see, align left will align my text to the center of the shape. Similarly, I can align it to the center and then I can align it to the middle. So now my text box has actually come in the middle of the rectangular shape. So that is how aligning works. This really helps when you are actually, trying to align different kinds of shapes and, headings together. That really, it really helps then. Now, another option that you'll see is these are all alignment options. You have an option called distribute horizontally and distribute vertically. So to explain that, say for example, one shape is here, another shape is here, and this text is here. Now I want to be able to align all of these with proper spacing. So I'll just select all of it and I'll go on align, and you'll see that it highlights the options distribute horizontally and distribute vertically for me. Now I will be aligning them horizontally, and now you'll see that they're all actually equally spaced to each other and aligned. So that is how the alignment, the distribute option works. Other than that, you can see that, if you want to remove all the alignments, you can just click on this option and it will remove it. You can also rotate your shapes and your elements. So if I want to rotate this by 90 degree, I'll just click on rotate and rotate right 90 and it will rotate my shape. So that is how the arrange option works. Now, if I had to explain you the quick styles option, quick style is basically like your, it's a sort of word art. Okay, so it's a sort of word art, and your text, color, etc., that all will change. So when you click on quick styles, you can see all these options that you can, use for your text box. So these are different kinds of options that you can use, and these are all preset templates that you can use. So that is about your quick styles. Now if I want to this is basically something that you'll also see in the format tab. So you have this option called shape fill. So shape fill will actually fill the shape of your text box, right? So if I want to fill the shape of my text box to this light green color, so this will basically fill the shape of my text box with that color. And I can have an outline to the text, if I want to keep it black, I can choose that color. I can change the weight of the border. So, we have all these points of options here. So I'm selecting this. So this is, you'll see an outline that has formed on my element. Now, if I want to customize my the weight of my borders, I can click on more lines, and here I'll be able to change the width of the border. I can change the transparency. I can make it round, bevel, etc., etc. Okay, all these are options that you can check out. So if I do round, you see that my it'll become a little more smoother from the side, smoother from the edges. So that is how your option shape outline option works. Now shape effects basically gives you option to add in some sort of shadow to your element. So if I were to use, this is my shape, if I were to add in some sort of shadow to it, so say for example, I want to shadow towards the upper area. So you can see that, you'll see all a blurred line up like a shadow. So that is what the shadow option does. And similarly, you have options like reflection, which will just, like you all can see, it will create some sort of reflection below the element. So that is how your shape effects option works. And you have different kinds of options here. You have glow, you have soft edges, you have bevel. Bevel just makes it look more 3D, right? So you'll be able to see that better in your pictures and your shapes. So that is how your most of what you'll find in your home tab. So if you want to find some words, so say for example, I want to find the word PowerPoint, I'll just simply go to the editing option and click on find, and I'll search for the word PowerPoint, and it will find out the word for me. So you can see that gets highlighted. So if I click on find next, it will get highlighted in this text, right? This is the first PowerPoint that you see, and this is the second PowerPoint that you see. So when you click on find next, it will keep on finding all options of PowerPoint that you have in your slide. If you also want to match the case, match case is basically you want it to be in the very similar case as you've written here. So say for example, you've written capital A and you've written small a, and you want the find option to be able to find it that way. So you can do that too. So PowerPoint, you'll be able to see that it only finds this option. It does not find any option because none of the options are in lowercase, right? So that is how PowerPoint, this find option works. Now, if I were to replace, so say for example, this is a very famous example that I'm so sorry, that Rasmi has been using lately. So like you all must have seen in the movie 3 Idiots, you see all the chamatkar change to balatkar. I'm sure Rashmi cracks this joke much better than me. I'm so sure about that. But I hope you all understand the kind of idea that we're talking about. So if you want to change the, replace all the PowerPoint with, say, I want to replace PowerPoint with Excel. So you'll, in find what, you'll write the word that you want to, change, and in replace with, you'll write what do you want to change it by. So I want to change it to Excel. So this, you have an option called find next, or you can just replace all of the PowerPoint with Excel. And once you do that, you'll see that, all my MS PowerPoint has been changed to Excel. So this is something that really helps once, if you've made if you made an error in somebody's name and you want to change it to something else, you can just simply use the replace option and you can do that. Now, select option is just to select the different objects. Select all will basically select each and every object that's there on your screen. So you see, if I click select all the objects got selected. And if I just simply click on select objects, that just gives me this arrow and I can just select them, right? So that is how the editing section works of the home tab. So this is a basic idea of what you can do through the home tab. Now, if I were to go to the next section, I'll just change the layout to blank. I'll just quickly show you how to insert shapes and the kinds of things that you can do with your shape option. So, sorry. Yeah. So you can click on shapes and say, for example, I want my rectangle. So I'll just simply go on shapes and just select the shape, and then I'll get this option to default my size, change my size, etc. If you want to maintain the size of your rectangle to the way it is, usually you can just click on shift and you can increase and decrease the size of your shape, right? So this is how I've made my rectangle into a square. Now, if I were to insert the rectangle itself, you see that if I, click on shift, it will increase the size accordingly. So this is how you can insert shapes. Now, the moment you insert any shape, the format tab pops up. You find a new tab that you'll not see otherwise. You'll not see format tab otherwise, but when you create an element, you create a shape, you insert a picture, etc., you'll find this format tab that opens up. So format tab is basically just to, this is just a default, way designs of how you can have your shape look like. Or you can, like we did previously with the text box, you can change the fill color of the shape. You can change the outline, right? You can have effects, etc., etc. So you can do that here. Alt text is basically so if, say for example, some element is working in your version of PowerPoint, but for some reason it is not opening up in some other person's PowerPoint, that is when alt text helps. Alt text is basically a very short summary of the maybe the description of the picture, or maybe the description of the shape. So you can add in that in the alt text. So I'll just write square here. So square, for anyone who are not able to see what the shape is, they'll see square written there. Okay, so this is something that's also followed in various websites. You'll see a lot of websites have an option, have the alternate text option. So when your images are actually loading, you'll see that, you see the description of the particular image there. That is your alt text. Now, these are different kinds of word art styles that you can have. So say, for example, I can add in a text box. So I have my shape here. It does not have any text, any area to write a text in. So I'll just simply go here and click on text box and click on my shape. So it'll default to the center and middle alignment. So I'll just add in a text saying hi. Now you all can't actually see, right, what I've written. So what I can do is I can select my text, and now I can go on the word art. And word art has different kinds of, I'll just increase the size of my text for you all to be able to see. So when I go on the word art, you'll see I have different options. So I can change my text design, right? Like you all can see, it is changing the design of my text. And you can also, so say for example, I've selected this option. You can also change certain things here. So you can change the color that's filled inside. So now you all can see white. But if I don't want white and I want to change the color to, say for example, I want it to be dark green. So I can just select that, and you see you have all these options here. You can change the outline, you can change the shadow, etc., etc. And just like we saw on the home tab, you can change the arrangement of each and every element. Now, to tell you what selection pane does, once you click on selection pane, you'll see all the elements that are there. Okay, so you'll see there's rectangle 4, there's rectangle 3. Just in case, my rectangle, so say for example, I'll just change the shape of my rectangle to the square. And now I can't see my another rectangle, right? So what I'll do is, if I go on selection pane, right? If I go on selection pane, I'll be able to see all the elements that are there on my PowerPoint. So I can see that there's a rectangle 4. This is the option to show the visibility of that particular element. So I can just click on it and it will hide that element. Okay. So this will show the element, this will hide the element. If you see this strike through from on the eye area, that just basically means that it's been hidden. So for myself to be able to see the element, this really helps. Okay. So now I can shift this somewhere else, and now I can make this visible. Right? I hope this helps. These are tiny things that, help a lot when you're making your PPT, because you want to make this a very smooth process for yourself. So these are tiny things that you can keep in mind to, do that. Now this arrange is the same as what you saw in the home tab, right? All things that you saw, alignment, bring to front, send to back, etc., etc. You'll just have an option align separately put here so that it's more easier for you, rotate, grouping, etc. Now, if you want to change the height and width of the particular shape, you can, these are the vertices from where you can, from these points, you can change the size of the shape. But just in case you have certain dimensions already given to you, you can change the size and shape from the height and width from here, this option. So I can input my own default values. Say, for example, I want the height to be 5 centimeter and I want the width to be 3 centimeter. So I can just do that, and that will change the dimensions of my shape. So that is one thing that you can do with shape. Another thing is an option called edit shape. Now what edit shape really does is you have two options. You can either change the shape of the, maybe you want to change your rectangle to, say for example, an ellipse. So now this will change the shape to ellipse. Okay, now it's no more a rectangle. And if I had to if I want to make my own custom shape, okay, so maybe I want to, I want this particular point to come a little below, and similarly with this one. So I made a trapezium, right? So I can change my shape like that. I can use the edit shape option, edit points option, and I can change the kind of shape that I'm showing. Another very interesting thing to do is, so say for example, I have my square here. So like you all can see now, when I try to increase the size of this shape, it is going in random direction. It is not retaining the dimensions that I had already given it, right? It's not retaining the shape of a square. It's becoming a rectangle. So that at that point of time, what I do is I click on select, I press select on my keyboard, and then I try to increase the size of my shape. And that will basically, retain the shape of my particular element. Now, one very interesting thing that you can do is, I'll just include one more circle here. So this is a circle that I've included. Now what I'll do is, I'll go to the format option, and I'll select this square as well as this circle. Now you'll see that an option has become available for me called merge shapes. Now this is something that's very, very interesting. If you use it correctly, you can make your own different shapes, right? So when you click on merge shapes, you can either combine the shapes together. So this is a new shape that I've created. I can rotate it from here. So you all can see that I created a whole new shape. Now this actually helps sometimes when you want to beautify your PPTs and the kinds of information you're putting in. So you can go on format, you can undo it, you can go on merge shapes, and then you'll see different kinds of options that you can have. You can union them together, you can combine them together. So in combined, what basically happens is the part that is actually intersecting, so intersecting area, which is common to both the circle as well as the square, that will get deleted, and you'll be able to see the other parts of the shape. And you have options like fragment. So fragment will divide the shape into different parts. So you all must be seeing that, a lot of pie charts actually have a certain area that's already divided, right? So you can see now I've created a pie chart जिसमें I can see this quarter separated. So you can do this in your, you can do this with your shapes. And the next option to show you all is in the merge shapes is intersect. Now intersect, like I said, the area that was, in overlapping for both the circle and the square, that is your intersected area, and that will, so intersect will basically show that option. Now subtract will basically remove the area of the second shape on the first shape. So when I click on subtract, you'll see that, you'll not be able to see the circle anymore. So the area that was overlapping on my square has actually gotten deleted. So that is how your merge shape option works. You should definitely try this out if you are trying to, do different things with your PPT, different things with your elements. You should definitely try this particular option out. So I think that's most about what I had to cover, and I'll Palak, can you stop my screen share because I am not able to see the option for some reason. Thank you so much. So Rashi is going to continue with the insert tab further.
Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll start with the insert tab. The first thing is the inserting a table. Now, table option, it is available in many MS Office applications, like it's also available in Word, in Excel, and also PowerPoint. So if you have a table in like Word or Excel, you could like copy it and paste it in the PowerPoint itself. So you don't have to make one from scratch. Similarly, if you have a table on PowerPoint, you can copy it and paste it in Word and Excel also. Now, while making a table, you cannot convert text into a table. You'll have to first make a table and then enter in your text. So if I take a example of a table, so there are two new tabs which open, like the design tab and the layout tab. So the design tab is usually the creative aspect of the table. So if you want to change the color, if you want to highlight a row or a certain column, like over here, the header row is highlighted. That is because I'm very sorry. So that is because the header row is highlighted. So like this, there are different options, and you can also use different colors. Like if I want to change the color, and there's an option where you can select best match for the document. So based on the theme of your PowerPoint, you'll get certain table options which you can like select. Then there's a light option, a medium, and similarly a dark one. So you can choose which color and what theme you want of your table. Next, there's border, shading, and effect. So similar with images, you can also add formatting to your table as well. I can make borders. I can add borders. I can change the shading, different colors. I can put gradient as well, and different textures. Texture options are also there. Then word art style. So similar with when you type a text in a text box, you can also change the style of your text. So there are different word art styles, like quick styles. So you can just select any one you want and like let your creative freedom. So yeah, you can make different effects like shadow, reflect, glow. These are actually something which you can do to normal text as well. Then you have this draw table option where you can, like, if you want to draw your own table, like I can draw my own square. And now coming to the layout tab. Now, if you want to insert a row, insert a column, that's what the layout tab is about. You change the formatting. So I can insert different rows and columns. Similarly, I can delete the rows and columns. Also, if you want to insert a new row, if this is the table, I have to select the last cell of the last column, and I could press the tab button and a new row will be inserted. So there's like a shortcut to add a new row to your table. Then changing the cell size, if you want to change the height, if you want to change the width, if you, yeah, and this is the alignment. You can, I show you. I can rotate the text. I can make it horizontal, perpendicular, whatever. If you want, you can change the text direction and add cell margins. Similarly, table size. So this is for the cell size. So if you want to increase the size of a particular cell, you can select here. Or if you want to change the entire table height and table width, you can do that as well. Similarly, like these are two tables and these are overlapping. But if I want the table behind to come ahead, I can use this option so that table comes ahead. So that is about the insert option table feature. Next, we can insert pictures. You can insert a picture from your device itself, or you can also search it online on a website. Now, again, a new format tab opens for the picture. So this is basically about adjusting the brightness. So over here, you can change the brightness and the contrast, and like whatever picture you want. If it's very dull, you can increase the brightness. Artistic effects, it's like if you want to like artistic strokes, pen marks. So there are different styles which you can select as well. And color theme, if you want a blue one, so you can like turn the picture into blue hue. Picture styles, you can like add a border. So you can choose a color border, or else picture effects like glow, reflection, shadow. So you can like add different effects and like just like depending on what presentation you want, and if you want to highlight a picture, keep it ahead, you can do that. Next, alt text. Now, accessibility is something, there are quite many options for different. So alt text is actually, alt text is, I'll show you. So if there's a picture, so I'll just write it as picture and I'll just save it as picture. So what happens if there's a person who is who cannot see, whose eyesight is very blur? So they use these screen reading browsers or applications. So what it helps them is that the screen reading browser, it tells them that okay, it's a picture. So it's actually accessible to a person who cannot see. So they understand what your PowerPoint is about and what is there on the slide. Similarly, if there are two overlapping pictures, you can send one behind, send one ahead. You can crop the picture and like change the height and width of the picture as well. Now, so yeah, these are the different options. Like you can add a screenshot, an entire photo album. Next, there are different icons in 3D models, smart art, and charts, which you can include. 3D model is like something not the older versions would have. Okay, so like if you want to just, so the 3D model is like you can move the model around. So basically in biology, if you have the vertical section, horizontal section, front view, side view or something, so you can rotate the model and you can see the other sides of the picture. So that's how it is. However, when you slide show it, like you cannot move at that time. So just understand it, like it helps us to like see the different sides and different views of it. So the other option is add-ins. Now add-ins is it's if you want a certain command or a certain feature which is not there in PowerPoint. So this is usually used by developers. They like develop their code in Visual Basic applications, and then they add it to their Microsoft PowerPoint. So it's a different command. It's a different feature which is available only to them. So you can have two options. You can actually buy these add-ins and get it on the browser internet, or if your friend or coworker has it, so you can, like there are two options. My add-ins is one which you like have it on your device, so you can add that as well. So it's not usually used that much, but it is there, that feature is available. Now zoom is if you want to zoom the screen and all. You also have controls over here too. So this is what I meant by 3D model. You can see the different views and all of it. Next is link. If you want to like kind of like a hyperlink. Now, if I want the person who's viewing it to, if they click this picture, they need to be redirected to another website. I could also do that. So I just did this. So if you want to go to the site which is defined to this picture, you have to long press control and select it. So you go to the website which was linked to it. Similarly, comment when you share your PPT with someone else and you want them to know something about this picture, like they are going to be editing it. So I want them to know that this picture is important. So I'll just like mention that this is an important picture. While you edit it, do not delete it. So they get to know it. So that's it. You also have it. You also have this option in different online, like Google Slides and Google spreadsheets. So it's pretty common and you can use it. Text box, again, if I want to add a text box, I can type whatever I have, and again, a format tab opens. So I can like add different word styles. I can change the shape, fill in different colors, and just insert many different effects to the text box as well. Header and footer, you can add a footer, like if I want each and every slide to specify, like maybe my name, like this presentation is made by this person. So I can write my name, slide number if I want to know that which slide I am on. So that, and date and time. So if I apply to all of my presentation slides will get the date, the footer, and the slide number. Similarly, you can add word art to this, and there are different equations which you can insert. Like if it's your PPT, I'll repeat the hyperlink part. So I can also so I want, usually in websites, there's a text which is in blue and it is underlined. So whenever you click on that text, you get redirected to another website. So if I select this and I want to link it, I can link it to another document in my device or to a website. So I've linked it in the address bar. I have put google.com. So I've entered it. Now see, it's it's in a color and it's underlined, which means there's a hyperlink there. So I have to long press Control button and just select that. So I get redirected to the website which I mentioned over there. I hope that is clear. So yeah, you can add different equations. If it's about mathematics, I can mention different equations. Again, I can mention different symbols like pi, then the square root. So again, these are useful. Just like images, I can insert different videos, different audios, and screen recording is something which is not available in all versions. So for video, the extension for the video should be .mp4 or .wmv, and for the audio, it could be mp3, WAV, and WMA. So these are some things you need to keep in mind while inserting your audio, or it just won't support it. So moving on to the design tab. Design tab is okay. So design tab is, there are different themes which I can use. So if I want it purplish, so I can choose these different themes which are there. Also, there are themes over here. So these are half-made, pre-made templates which you could use. So rather than inserting, for this, you'll have to insert a text box, add in color. So these are easy ways around it. So I have using a already made theme. So variants is you can change the color of the theme. I like the format, the layout in which it is, but I do not like the color. So I can change the color and I can change the font. I can add different effects and the background style. I can add a gradient background, a texture background, or a solid fill color. Slide size is the orientation of the slide. It could be a standard, the ratio in which your slide will be seen and widescreen. You can also custom it to different size. If I want the height to be a bit more, I can do that as well. And format background, it's again, you can add a solid fill color, a gradient, a pattern. So the background color fills with a pattern. These different patterns, they do come in. I don't know why it's not happening. So that's how it is. You can add different patterns, add different gradients and texture. You can also insert a new picture for the entire slide, and you can apply it to all. So that option will help you apply that picture to all these slides, or you can just apply it to just one slide you want it on. So now Isha will take over for the transition animations part.
Thank you, Rashi. Now we'll be moving towards the rest of the tabs, which are the transitions, animations, and the most important one, slideshow. Let me just present my screen. Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. So now, here you can see. Now, when you talk about transitions, this is one of the most important aspects. It's where the creative side comes into, once your presentation is ready, you've entered all your text, images, shapes that's supposed to go. You come to the transition slide. Now the transition features is essentially just for the slides. There are 48 transition options available on MS PowerPoint. They're divided into three categories. One is subtle, some next is exciting, and the last one is dynamic content. Now, depending upon the kind of presentation that you'll be making, you have to select one of these transitions. Now, for example, if it's like a very professional PPT or it's something very simple, if to present it to a few friends or some small presentation at an office, you should probably go with the subtle ones as they're not really flashy to the eye. Exciting could be one for your college presentations. It could be for an assignment if you're showing it to your professor. It could also be for like a family gathering, if some kind of festival, if you're going to present anything for a movie night. Exciting features, exciting transitions are really good. Now, dynamic content essentially should be revealed when you want to catch someone's eye. Suppose it's like a big reveal, it's a media reveal. If it's some big exciting project that you would want to showcase, dynamic transitions are the one you should go for. Now, each of these transitions would have like an effect options available with it. I would be showing it to you, but for example, now you can see the first feature is morph. Now you could probably, the set feature for morph could be morphing from the left side. But if you want your slide to morph from behind or from above or from the right side, you could change those in the effect options. And once you do that, it would be applied to all of these slides. There are other features such as sound. Now, suppose right, during each slide change, you want a small sound like a chime or like a click, which needs to be heard by everyone. You could add that as well. Plus, there's also an option where you can add the duration for each slide. Now, suppose I have to present in front of a lot of people. I don't have the time to keep clicking on the slides. So what I could do is, according to the time that I need for each slide, suppose for this slide, I need 30 seconds to explain it. So what I can do is, I can click the slide, select 30 seconds in the duration bar. And once I've done that, after 30 seconds, this slide would automatically change to the next one. So transitions are essentially a very simple feature, and it's according to your preference which kind of transition you want. But do keep in mind, if it's like a professional one, try to keep it subtle. As Gurleen said, something too flashy wouldn't be appropriate for a professional PPT. So something like a push or a cover uncover transition is a good one. Now coming to the animations. Now animations can be used for the text that you've been putting in your slide, for the objects, for the shapes, for images. Animations bring a spark to your PPT. It's like it's again a very creative aspect. It's according to your taste, but don't add too many animations in a single slide. Then that would just ruin the flow of your presentation. Again, here there are 51 different animations available, and these kind of animations are common through all the versions, at least to the latest versions from 2017 to the latest one. All these animations are available. Similar to the transition sides, each of the animations has an effect options. You can change it, customize it according to your preference. There's also possible that you could add animation to each different sentence. Now here you can see pointers that I have. I can add a different animation to each one of them. And I can add a different animation to the pictures that I've added here. But I would suggest not to keep it stark different from each other, because again, that isn't something that would look very smooth while you're presenting. So it should be common at least for the pictures, and you could keep one animation common for your text. You can reorder your animations with the help of animation pane, which I would be showing you. Suppose you don't like one of the animations that you've put for certain text, or you want the animations to be switched, or a certain sentence to go first. So you can just shift it on the animation pane and the animation gets shifted to the sentence or the picture you want. Your timing feature is also available. Usually you'll have to click for the animation to show, but if you add seconds to it or some time to it, it would automatically be presented. Suppose like for 5 seconds. So it'll take 5 seconds to show the entire animation. Now coming the most important part where we'll be talking about slideshow. Now you're done with your entire presentation. You've added transitions, you've added animations, and now is the time to present. So when you start by presenting, there's a start slideshow. That's the first feature available in the slideshow tab. There are two ways you can do it from the beginning. So once you click from the beginning, it would start from your first slide. So for beginning, there's a shortcut key as well. You can press F5 and your presentation would start from whichever slide is there, or it would start from beginning as well. Secondly is from current slide. Now, since I'm talking about slideshow, I just want the slideshow slide to be seen. So what I can do is I can click slideshow and then do either click on this, that is from current slide, or press shift and F5. Either one works and it can be presented on the screen. For the rest of the features, I can directly show it to you on MS PowerPoint, but to go through it very shortly, Present Online is a feature where you can link or select a selective a platform like Zoom or something, and it will be presented online. You could also do it for YouTube. Custom slideshow is if you have, suppose, a slide of 15 slides presentation, and there's someone else that you want to show the presentation, but just the main parts of it. You don't want to show the entire presentation. So with the custom slideshow, you can select the slides that you want, and only those slides would be presented. So it would be like a very customized, as the name suggests, it's a customized slideshow. Now, Rehearse with Coach is a feature which is only available with the latest version, that is Microsoft Office 365. It's now called Microsoft 365. This is suppose known as time to rehearse with you, or you need to see how your flow is, how many seconds does it take for you to complete a slide. Rehearse with Coach is an excellent way for practice. What it does is post your rehearsing. Once you stop your rehearsal, it gives you a detailed report as to how was your pace, how was your delivery, how many seconds did you take to complete a single slide. It also, so you shouldn't really read whatever is written on your slide. It also points out that if it finds that you're just reading sentences on your presentation, it gives you a suggestion that, you should probably mix up the words a little bit, talk on your own, and not just write aloud from the presentation. Then the setup slideshow is setup slideshow has various options. One is like setting up a self-running slideshow. So you just select that option, it's a full screen, and the participants who are seeing your presentation can actually change slides according to their wish. Suppose someone just wants to see the fourth slide. So they can just go to the fourth slide, and you probably, for your screen, you'll just be on the first one. The other one is by an individual, that is suppose me. I don't want anyone to move ahead on my presentation. I want everyone to see the slide I'm currently at. So this is probably the feature that you should be using. Again, hide slide is kind of similar to custom slideshow, where you can just hide slides. Now, suppose I don't want to show this slide during my presentation, like once I start presenting. So what it does, it essentially doesn't show up on your presentation. It shows the next slide, whatever would be on your presentation. Here, there's again rehearse timings and record slideshow. These are features for you to present, or if you're giving a lecture somewhere, or you have to send a lecture to somebody and you're making use of Microsoft PowerPoint, you can use record slideshow. And what it does is, you at the left bottom corner of your screen, you would be there. If you want to switch on your camera, your video would be recorded, or it would just be a small black box with your audio going as you want to explain this, whatever your presentation might be. Now I will show you how all these features are used on PowerPoint. I'll just stop sharing for a second. Okay, so now here I have made like a sample presentation. All of your slides are ready. You have entered all the content that you want. Now you would start adding transitions to your slide. Now, as I said, there are these many transitions available. These are common across all versions, so you don't really have to worry, what if I don't have a certain transition slide? Now, suppose I want to select push. So I select this, and suppose you can't see it the first time, the first tab that you can see here is the preview feature. Just click on the preview feature and it will show you how the transition actually looks. Now, suppose I want to make it a little fancy, a little catchy to the eye, and I select random bars. And if I see the preview, this is how the random bars is shown. Now, if I want to show you another one, like one of the exciting features, this could be, I could probably show fall over. So this is a little dramatic transition, as you can see. I'll show it to you again. It's one of the, probably you could use it during your class presentations, or that would really be exciting. So people won't really just get bored looking at the text and images that you've put in. Now coming to the effect options. Now I would select another transitions just to show. And I have the effect options. Now what this done, I can probably select from top, cover from top. So this is how it does. I can change it probably from bottom. So the transition would start from the bottom. Similarly, there are various other options like top right, top left, bottom left, from right. So this cover transition probably has been set to cover from the left side. So if you do it from the right, it happens this way. Now sound. Now sound, as I said, is a feature you could add if during each slide change. I can select sound and I'll just lower my volume so that it doesn't, you can lower your volumes a little bit. Now chime. So now this chime is added and it would stay for the duration of 1 second. So once you start presenting your slideshow, the chime sound would be heard after every slide is changed. And you could apply, suppose you like the chime sound for each of these slides, instead of selecting a chime sound for each and every slide, what you can do is you can just click apply to all, and it would be applied to each one of these slides. So you can see here in the left corner below the number of the slides, there's 1 written, and below that there's a star emoticon, you could say, or a star symbol. The star symbol basically indicates that a transition and a sound has been applied to all of them. When you click on apply to all feature, not does it apply sound to all these slides, but it also applies the transition that you've selected for the first slide. You can change it very easily. You can probably make it curtain. See, this is how it's heard during the preview. I can make it, this is a little dramatic. It's not really professional. Crush one is, I would suggest not to use that one, but this is how the apply to all feature works. So if I just click apply to all, the crush would be, like, go to the first slide, go to the second one. It's applied to all of them. Now, again, as I said, if you want to have a hands-free presentation, you don't want to keep clicking on your mouse or the enter key on your laptop, what you can do is unselect the on mouse click, go to after, select the after one. And if you don't know how something, you don't remember next time how everything works, you can just look at this and they give you a description. So you can click on after, and I can probably make this after every 10 seconds. This depends upon how long your presentation is and how long it takes for you to explain a slide. But after every 10 seconds, a slide would be changed. That's it for the transitions tab. It's pretty simple. Once you've selected the transition that you like and you apply it to all, and you select a sound, selecting a sound is not compulsory. If you want to keep it very professional, very formal, you can skip the sound part. Duration, again, if you don't select sound, duration doesn't really come into play here. But the duration does come for a specific length of the transition, as it says here. So the transition would have 2 seconds till the next slide pops up. Now coming to animations. We're done with transitions, now coming to animations. So for the animation tab to be activated, you'll have to select a certain text or an image that is present in your slide. As I said, this is essentially for text, objects, or animations. So now once I've selected welcome, what I can do is I can select this. I can select this. Now I can just have it to appear. So now if I see the preview, it just appears. So something more dramatic, probably shape. See, this is how it works. I could also have it grow and turn. This is something which is commonly seen across all presentations. It could also be this. So there are various animations options, as you can see. There's the entrance one. So these are essentially for your headers or just a title slide. You could use this. You could have shape, as I've already shown you. You could have wheel. Now, similarly to the transition slide, there's effect options available for animations as well. Now here, there's just one spoke that could be seen. Probably you wanted for 3 spokes. So it would turn in 3 different ways, and then the text would be seen. Similarly, you have 4 strokes, 8 spokes, etc. So this is for the entrance one. Now suppose that, coming to the next slide. Now you have a flag, which we'll be talking. So this slide talks about Sweden, introduction to Sweden. So what you can do is you can have it shown up as random bars for the picture. And the official flag could have a shape probably. So as you keep setting your animations, this is the order that it would be seen on your presentation. That won't change, but you can change it through the animation pane, which I'll be showing you in shortly. Now the text. So what I can do is, suppose I want Sweden also to come up as a shape. Now, if you'll be presenting bullet point wise, what you can do is you can select all of this thing. You can either keep it very simple and have it all appear at once, or what you can do is you could add the bounce feature. So all of it bounces together. But other thing that you can do is, suppose this is something you just want individually to appear. So if you select just one sentence, it would do that. Then if you select this again and select bounce, this would come individually. So each point will show up individually. Now add animation is very similar to here. It just gives you all the animations in one go. There's exit animations and there's emphasis animations. Now suppose I want to make emphasis on the capital name. I want it to appear, I want a certain emphasis on that. So what I could do is I could probably have a color pulse. So there would be an emphasis on this while it's been presented. I could also probably have motion paths. Now coming to motion paths, this is a very customized kind of animation. Now I can show you one certain for loop. So this is what would happen for loop. It would be presented in like a loop format. I would not suggest to use this again because it's just very confusing while you're having your presentation. Yeah, so now coming to the animation pane. And you can see these are all the animations that have been for this slide. So what I can do is, since I said I don't like loop, I can just remove it from here. It's very easy. So now there's no longer a loop feature for this entire text box. As at the same time, probably I don't want official flag of Sweden to be, I don't want it to be presented using an animation. So what I can do is I can just remove it. So there's no longer an animation to this text box.
Isha, sorry to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
We'll have to rush through a few things. We're a little short on time, so we'll just have to rush.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Okay, now this timing feature is very similar to the transitions one. You just select a duration for what you want, start on click. On click itself, you can select the duration to be 5 and it would be shown for 5. And if you want a delay of sorts, like after a certain number of seconds, like suppose you just shown Sweden and you want the points to come after 10 seconds. So you just add 10 seconds to this. Reorder animation is very simple. You can move the order of the animation before, later, according to your convenience. Now coming to the slideshow tab, as I said from beginning, now I can just press F5, and with all the animations and transitions, everything would be seen. And if I click and see, as we had clicked after every 5 seconds, an animation should be seen, that happens. So not using my mouse or my keyboard at all. This is all according to the time that we have set for the presentation. Of course, right now the timings that I've set are very random. I encourage you to time out your entire presentation and have the timings given. From current sliders, suppose I just want to show this slide. So once I click Shift and F5 or I click this button, it's just going to show this. It's going to start the presentation from this slide. Now, present online, it's where you can show your slideshow in a web browser. You can have it on Google Meet, Zoom, anywhere, and you can present it online directly. But since most of these also have a share screen option, this isn't really used that much. Now, a custom show is where you can just add, you can make a new this thing. Once you select new, all the slide titles would be here. The slide titles are essentially whatever you enter in your slide, like the title option. So I can probably select welcome, history, and geography is what I want to show. I will add it and okay. So once I do show, it's just welcome, history, and geography, which would be seen. The rest of the ones aren't shown. You can just delete your custom slideshow very easily, like just remove from here and that's it. You don't really have to worry about this. Now, rehearse with coach is something which won't be on all of your platforms. As I said, it's just a way for you to rehearse. Setup slideshow, again, you have various options. This could be where you can give access to your presentation online to the people that you're presenting. Here, the access won't be given. And kiosk is essentially a place where you can show a screen would be shown on the screen till one of the participants who's watching presses the ESC click button. The rest is pen color for your highlighter and stuff. And the rest of these features aren't really all needed. Usually you need to show all of your slides. So you can select all, or if it's like from a certain slide, you just want to show slide 1 to 5, then that could also be done. There's hide slide option. Now here when I click hide, this is just one of the very easiest. Suppose I don't want to show this slide. So I hide it. Now once I have a presentation, it's not shown. So as you can see, this slide just gets skipped. That is the hide slide feature. You can click on it again for it to disable. You can rehearse your timings. You can see how much time it takes you, and accordingly, you can add those timings to your transitions and animations. You can also record your slideshow. You can probably have just a recording for the text-heavy slides, and the rest of them are pretty self-explanatory since they're titled slides. And you can also record from the beginning, so like you can start with your introduction and rest of the stuff. This is really helpful if you have to if to send a recorded presentation and the other person doesn't have time for them to sit with you for a meeting. So you can just record yourself talking about the details and just send it to them, and that would be done. So none of you have to sit for a meeting and you have to present. The rest is plain narrations, use timing, show media controls is something where you can hover on the slideshow and the features are seen. Monitors, again, depends upon if you're presenting on Teams. 2 monitors could be seen, probably a slide and yourself. This is the feature used for you as the presenter. Now, captions and subtitles isn't available on the rest of the versions. It's only available in Office 365. You can just use subtitles for people who probably can't understand and need to see what you're talking about, or for any person, subtitles are helpful any day. So yeah, that's it. So now what I would be talking about is
Isha, can
Yeah.
we see the review and view tab first? And
yeah. Rashi would be going next.
Yeah.
I hope my screen is visible. So the review tab, it is basically once your presentation is done, you can run through like for the final checking, you can see if the spelling is right. Check the thesaurus, so you can see the similar meanings or synonyms of words. You can change the language in which the entire presentation is, or you can select a text and change it into another language. You can see the comments and you can compare it with another slide so that you can see, like, if there are two versions of the same presentation, you can see which content is missing in which PowerPoint. The view slide, it is how you view your slides. So there's a normal view, which is the default view. The outline view, it shows you the outline of the presentation. Slide sorter will show you the each slide as a thumbnail. So if there are like 3 or 4 slides, you can see it in one view itself. Then the reading view, it will notes view, it will show you the notes which you have written. So over here, you can add the notes and you can view it. And the reading view, it will full screen your presentation so that if there's a text which is very small, so once it's full screen, you can read it very easy. The master's view, it is basically if you want to make some edits, which is permanent, like if there's a logo you want to add, which gets copied to the entire presentation. So that's how the master's view works. It's not usually used because there are different options which you can use to add a logo as well. The ruler, grid lines, and guides, these are like if you want to insert an image and if you want to make sure that it is in the center of the slide. So by using these options, you can make sure that the proportions are right and there's no space here and there. Zoom, you can you have options over here. You can zoom the slide and make it small as well. You can, if I have a text which is in purple color, but I want it in black and white. So rather than changing the text color for each and every slide, I can just change it into a black and white presentation. So that way the color purple will become black. Now these window slides, again, if there are 2 different presentations which we want to compare, so you can add a new window. If I do this, I get another, like same presentation gets copied. So there are 2 presentations. One is like, it gets one like numbered as 1 and 2. So then I can like compare between the 2 of them, make edits in one. So that's how this entire tab is used. And macros, it is again used by developers. Like there are many animations in your presentation, like 6 to 7 animations. So using this tab, you can like develop a program in Visual Basic Applications, and then you can insert it into this. So if there are any animations, they get sequenced. Sorry. So if there is any animations, they get sequenced. So that way you don't have to like, again, it's an easy way out, but it's not usually used. So I think now Isha will take over for the Canva and Google Slides.
Just a second. So a lot of people have been asking how to save a PPT as video. So I'll just quickly show you all how to do it. Just a second. Share my screen. So like you all can see, this is your PPT. And when you go in File, you have an option called Save As. So when you click on Save As and you select your relevant destination, there's an option called Save As Type. So the default Save As type for a PPT is PowerPoint presentation. But since you all want to know how to save it as a video, just click on this and you'll see various options opening up. And if you want a video option, you just simply select MPEG-4 video. And once you do that and you click on Save, you'll see that your PPT has started converting to a video. This might take some time for our video, and once that is done, based upon the kind of transitions and everything you put, you'll be able to see your presentation as a video. So, and you'll find the video in your destination folder, wherever you selected it to be. Okay, so that is how this thing works. I hope that clears your doubt. Isha, you can show them Google Slides.
Okay, so there's another application that you can use to make presentations, and that's Google Slides. So Google Slides is a feature offered by the Google Docs Editor Suite, and that's easily available on your Gmail account. All you need is a Gmail account, and Google Slides is accessible. It's also an application which can be which can be downloaded on your phone. But to save your PPTs, your Gmail account is really necessary. Now I'll just present and show you how Google Slides work. So now this is Google Slides. You can access it here. So it's here. You can see slides, and once you open it, this is presented. Now Google Slides also has their own template gallery for you to just get started very easily. So it could probably be a very general presentations that you're making, or if you want something colorful, you can use this. There's for your pictures. If you're drafting a wedding calendar, you can use that. Recipe, as you can see, there are various slide options designs that are available. There's a consulting proposal, there's like a pitch if you have to make to somebody, a student certificate if you are in a role where you have to give out student certificates, that this template can be used very easily. Now the plus points regard, I'll just show you. Suppose I'm taking this, I'm selecting this. Now, like the transition, adding animations, everything is pretty much the same as MS PowerPoint. One of the big differences between PowerPoint and Google Slides is that while you're working on PowerPoint, it's just you who can work at it at one point of time. And you might have sent it to someone else, they'll download, then create. The good part about Google Slides is here you can just share it with someone. Let's suppose me, Gurleen, and Rashi, we three are working on a presentation. All I have to do is add their email IDs. Now I'm adding XYZ email ID. I'll just add that. And once I've added that, added an email ID, I'll just add my secondary email ID. Now suppose I've added this one. Now, similarly to Google Spreadsheets and Google Docs, you can either make the other person a viewer, a commenter, or an editor. And once you can also add a message here. Suppose you're just giving a heads up, this is the presentation that we need to be working on, and just click send. Once you've done that, they get an email popped up that a person has shared Google Slides with you, and once they open it, it's automatically saved on their Google Slides. Yeah, that's it. You have the file tab, so you can rename, open a new one, a new presentation, or like make a copy of the entire presentation or selected slides. You have the edit option. There's view again, and insert. Same as MS PowerPoint, you can insert an image, text box, an audio clip, a video, various shapes. A lot of shapes are available. There's arrows, there's word art, there are various kinds of charts, bar diagram, column, pie chart, line. And you can also click new slide from here, or you can click it from this arrow. Once you use the drop down here, you can see various slide options, same as MS PowerPoint. Yeah, that's it. There's a print option. There's a transition here as well. So there are various transitions that you can add. Now, Google Slides doesn't really have a huge kinds of types of transitions available as MS PowerPoint does, but it's a pretty good tool to use if you want a lot of people to work at the same time. This is a very good tool that you can use. That's it from my side. Thank you. Rashi can go ahead.
I'll just now take you all through the different PowerPoint cheat sheets. So like these are the shortcuts which you can use, and they'll make your life so much easier. You can maybe screenshot this entire and refer it to later, but these could be used on different MS Office applications like Word and Excel as well. So if you want to bold, italic, underline, change some formatting, you could use these formatting shortcuts. You can align the text using different shortcuts. Similarly, you can undo, cut, copy, and paste some text. Now, these are the PowerPoint 2019 file and document shortcuts. So if you want to add a new presentation, you can say Control+N. You can open a new presentation. You can save the presentation, print it. So these are different shortcuts which you can use. And these are the ones which are quite important and are solely just for PowerPoint. So you can start the slideshow with the F5 button. And then you can go back to the previous slide using, like, if I press P, I go back to the previous slide, and if I press N, I go back to I go ahead to the next slide. If I want a white screen, like if I'm teaching something, so if I want a white screen, I just have to press W, and I get a blank screen, and there are options like I can use a pen, and then I can write out something that way. So similarly, if you want a black screen, you can press B. So these are the different shortcuts which you can use, and they will like help you make a PowerPoint very easily. Now these are the different slides where you can sites where you can download these pre-made templates like Canva, Google Slides, Behance. So like if you have a presentation and you have to make it very quickly, you can like just download these templates, put in your content, your data in, and you'll be ready. But now that you've seen this, attended this workshop, I feel like you can make a PowerPoint from scratch very easily, and just like a creativity go wild and make a really good presentation. So thank you very much. And I hope you all learned quite a lot from us.
Thank you so much. We have Madhura ma'am, the founder and CEO of Aspire for Her. Ma'am, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you so much, Jasmine. It was an absolute pleasure catching a part of this session. And I'm so happy that students from colleges which are very dear to us, a lot of them have actually learned how to use PowerPoint, how to use many of the other slides. I quite like the fact that you all actually gotten a lot of the other presentation templates as well over here. So once again, really, this is the last of our series of five professional upskilling workshops, which have been designed by the very young Aspire for Her team. This is the brainchild of Girisha and Palak, and I can see some of them here. I can see Palak, and thank you, Gurleen, Isha, Rashi, Jasmine, all of you for really putting this together. I learned a lot in the past few minutes that I spent here. I have been using PowerPoint, I think, for the last 20 years, but there is so much that you still don't know. And, I just realized that. And it's so great that all of you are finding the opportunity of learning, and not just from the net or, from some online course here, but from young peers who are just like you, who are taking their time out on a Sunday morning to come in and talk to you. This is what we really emphasize at Aspire for Her, having a very strong and thriving peer community, which learns from each other and grows with each other. So I think if I were to really think of all the 5 points of our mindset change model, this is probably the most important. Of course, you have mentors and role models. Of course, you have fantastic learning opportunities, and we have so many partners. Some of you are utilizing our learning resources very well. And thank you very much to the faculty of these colleges, the respected principals, people like Vaishali from KESS, who I saw some time back, and many others who are taking that one stride forward to ensure that the students are ready. Their students are ready for the real world. I can see a lot of people from JNSSE also, and thank you so much, because without the educational institutions sort of reaching their hand out to us, the handshake can never happen. And we want to be the bridge between the educational institution and the corporate world or the entrepreneurial world. So, that's what we are doing. I hope all of you know about the latest community that we have launched last Sunday. It seems like a long time back, but it's just been a week. It's called Entrepreneury, and that is just to ignite the passion of entrepreneurship in young folks like all of you. At Aspire for Her, all of you are welcome to join, not just women. Of course, we welcome women, we motivate women to enter and stay in the workforce, as you know, and equip them with all the skills that they need to have awesome careers. But we also want men on this journey, because it's only with the support of men and by ensuring that men also are part of sessions like this can India move forward. And only if men realize that you require both men and women, like two wheels of a car, to ensure that the economy actually propels forward and does really well. So that's why men are a very important part of our journey, and we love to have you as supporters. We are thinking of launching a new community for supporters at some point in time. If any of you young men are interested, we will be delighted to have you be the pioneering members of that community. We have already a lot of supporters, but we haven't really launched them as a community so far. But thank you so much for coming out on this Sunday morning, and thanks to all the participating colleges. Ruchita, she is absolutely the backbone of this entire initiative at Aspire for Her, reaching out to all our alliances, partnerships, and our young team. Congratulations once again. And congratulations to each one and every person who took time out to attend these sessions, to ask the questions, to learn something new, and to create the new India of our dreams. So thank you and all the very best. Back to you, Jasmine.
Thank you so much for those kind words, ma'am. And with this, we come to the end of the session. Thank you so much to all the speakers for sharing such amazing insights with us, because I'm sure all of us learned something, and I know I did. I would like to thank everyone for joining us today. Do let us know how you found the workshop by filling the feedback form shared in the chat box. Do sign up as members of AFH to be a part of our upcoming workshops and to avail various career resources. You can check out www.aspireforher.org/learnings at Aspire for various free courses. We also have a bunch of jobs and internship opportunities. Make sure you check them out on the AFH's website. For any queries, feel free to reach out to AFH on any social media platforms. They are on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Medium, and Sheroes. Now, Ruchita ma'am, would you like to share a few words with us before we officially end?
No, it's been actually wonderful, and Madhura has already spoken enough. I started with it, but I would like if Mary Pillai ma'am is here for her to share a few words. Vaishali, is she there around? You're on mute.
Gurleen, you'll have to mute.
Ma'am, she is on YouTube. She is on YouTube.
Oh, okay. So, no, while of course, we've had a very interesting sessions, a lot of excitement at our end, but the journey doesn't stop here. The journey still continues, and please be a part of all our workshops. Tomorrow, we have a very interesting career track on journalism with Rita Roy. That's again just one part of it, but stay tuned. I myself cannot tell, we just come up with so many things. The best is to follow us on social media and stay updated. And yes, be a part, give us some feedback if you are looking at something else, and we'll make sure it's there with you. Thank you, team, once again, and thank you to the audience for actually bearing us patiently for the last 5 Sundays. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We would like to conclude by thanking Madhura ma'am, Ruchita ma'am, Girisha, Palak, and the AFH team for organizing such an amazing workshop series and for various other opportunities and career resources. Thank you so much again, everyone, for being a part of the Professional Upskilling Workshop series. Goodbye, and have a great Sunday.
Thank you so much, Palak.